Hey everybody, Movie Reviewer Next Door here, and I'm back with another review. And this time, I saw Shaft from 1971. This is a crime film from director Gordon Parks, and it stars Richard Roundtree, Moses Gunn, and Charles Ciaffi, and Christopher St. John. In this film, cool black private eye John Shaft is hired by a crime lord to find and retrieve his kidnapped daughter. So, what did I think of Shaft? Well, this is a bit of a classic that I don't like. I'm not a fan of this, like at all. There are certain things that I can give it credit for production wise, given that it's a lower budget film, but I can't really give it too much because I really don't see what is so special about this. It feels like every other detective film from the time, just that the main character is black and there's a lot of really annoying racial politics thrown in. So showing that even back in the day, you had films like that. But let me get to the cast and then I'll get to the movie. Richard Roundtree is John Shaft. I like Richard Roundtree. I've seen him in other films. I've liked him in those other films. I liked him in Maniac Cop. I liked him in he was good in Antitrust. Um what was it? Angel 3. Uh he's been good in other films. Here, he's fine. He's passable. He's better than Taylor Lautner in Abduction. I'll give him that. There's not really much interesting to this character, though. And I think the most you can say about the character is that he's a bit of an asshole and he's a black guy. That's really the most I could say about it. And I'm not trying to be racial. I know that I'm not racist, so if somebody calls me racist, I'm just gonna call them out on their shit and tell you no. I don't have to defend myself. I very much know I'm not racist. But yeah, he's not much of a character. Moses Gunn as Bumpy Jonas. I've seen this actor before. Don't know from what. He's not bad. He's just barely in the film long enough to really cement himself because I guess he's technically the villain of the film. I guess because he hires on John or hires on Shaft. But I don't know. He's just kind of there. Charles Ciaffi as Vic Andrazi. He's okay. Christopher St. John as Ben Buford. Guy kind of helps Shaft out. Um, he's fine. I struggle to find something in this film that I haven't seen before. I struggle to find originality here. I struggle to find a plot that I can give a shit about because the main plot here is that somehow, somehow, this mafia boss is like, you know who can help me get my daughter back from these mafia people? A cop. And that's about all the plot you get here. There's no like overarching there's no like nothing extra really to this. Most of the film is either is a few things. It's one, Shaft walking around to other people asking them where if they saw a certain guy. It's Shaft boning a woman, or it's Shaft talking to Bumpy Jonas, or Shaft in the police station, and every other line being about race. And I've got to get to that because when I first looked up this film, somebody said that it has themes of masculinity and black power. The term black power is different from black power as in Black Lives Matter. Black Power was a movement back in the 60s and 70s that was meant to, in a way, make black people more accepted. Now, I can't really comment on this. I'm not going to try to. I can't comment on the validity of if this film makes black people look good or bad. Personally, Shaft is kind of an annoying character. I really don't understand the appeal. It's not because he's masculine. I love masculine characters. I feel like the main thing that they're running with is that he's a black guy. And it's supposed to be like, oh, look how different he is because he's black. They want to have their cake and eat it too here. They want to be like, ooh, he's a smooth black private dick that's the sex machine to all the chicks. Shaft. They want him to be both different because he's black and the exact same as white people because he's black. Or even though he's black. Which doesn't really work here. Because pretty much all the white characters here are played to be bumbling buffoons, evil, and there's like maybe one white character that's nice. There's like a blind guy at one point that's nice. But every other white person is seen as like, oh, they're holding Shaft back. Even though Shaft is literally not asking the police officers questions, yet you're supposed to dislike the white police chief because he's white. Now, I understand there are people who will make the argument that, oh, because black people have been put down over the years, uh, it would make sense to do something like this. Kind of like with white chicks, where people are like, oh, the fact that all the white people are idiots and the black people are the good guys is commentary. I don't think that's really the direction you'd want to go, because that really makes it out to be all black people bad, all black people good, all white people bad, which is not a message you want to spread because that creates division. Um, if you sprinkled in like half and half bad guys that were white, black guys that were, or bad guys that were white and black, and half good guys that are white and black, that then you could start to make an actual like, message that could work and it wouldn't be so forced. But apparently I'm the only one that thinks this. Um, Again, I know that people see this as a classic. They see it as this untouchable piece of cinema. Name one thing in this film that is subversive, that is different from other noir detective films of the time. Because if you change out John Shaft for a white guy, I feel it wouldn't change much of the film at all. Because the only reason he is black, well, I mean, I really don't understand this blaxploitation genre anyway, because there are people that say Live and Let Die is blaxploitation, when literally the film, like, they deliberately set it in Harlem and had a bunch of black people in the cast who were getting paid very well. I don't think they were complaining. I don't think anybody was complaining about the pay in that film. So I don't really understand. I don't really understand what. I don't understand what's so classic about this. The most that happens in this film is a bit of a shootout at the end, like 4 minutes from the end. They build up. Everything takes forever to build up. I know that in a normal world they'd be like building up tension. Ooh, where it's intense because you don't know if they're gonna get caught. But I already know that they're gonna save the day because there's sequels. I'm not saying it's because of the sequels, but it, like, I know they're not gonna kill off Shaft. That would be stupid. But I don't know, just something about this film just feels really. I think it doesn't hold up. And there are films from before this that I do think hold up. Gone with the Wind still holds up, and it's 4 hours long. I never get bored a single second. Wizard of Oz still holds up. Stagecoach still holds up. Um, Frickin' Paths of Glory, or yeah, Paths of Glory still holds up. Um, many films. The Quiet Man with John Wayne still holds up. It's still a very good romance with some decent comedy thrown in. A very sexy kiss. But this film seems stuck in that era of films around the time of French Connection. And this came out, I think, maybe the same year as Dirty Harry. Uh, oh, this actually came out the same year as French Connection. That's interesting. Because I got major French Connection vibes. Um, Get Carter was also the same year. There's an advertisement for Get Carter in the film. Uh, but yeah, yeah, I'm struggling to find things to talk about because this film is just really as slow as you can get. Yeah, you get a couple gunfights at times. They're not amazingly filmed. Overall, like the set design is okay. I didn't have a huge issue with production design or set design, whatever term you want to use. Again, the acting, it's okay. There are much better acted films from this time. Um, it's not like this came out at the time where you had like people doing transatlantic accents all the time. But just I don't know, something about the writing of a lot of these types of films where it's like, oh, all white people bad, all black people good. It doesn't work because it seems to want to spread a message of, well, black power. And again, the black power movement of the 60s and 70s, not black power as in BLM, a fraud organization now that we know. But it seems it wants to beat you over the head with the political ideals of the director. It seems like they want to, instead of give you entertainment, they want you to agree with, he wants you to agree with his politics, which I think is not the way you want to go with something like this. It is marketed as an action film, marketed as a cop film. People don't want to be lectured in their cop films about race. But pretty much every cop film nowadays has to mention, oh, black cops, you're against your own race, that whole thing. Even though white people are killed by the cops far more times than black people, if you actually look at the statistics. Um, but nobody wants to. This is just an unspecial film to me. The reason I gave it a 4 is because at the least I can say some of the music is fine. A lot of the music is overdone and doesn't really hold up at all. Um, I know the theme song won the Academy Award for Best Original Song. I don't really like it that much. I don't mind Isaac Hayes as an artist, but I don't really like this. It goes on way too long. The opening is literally 5 minutes long of like listening to this awful song. It's like, who's the black private dick that's the sex machine to all the chicks? Shaft, and they're like singing out of key, and it's just uh, like I was struggling to make it through this movie. I am not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna tell it how it is. I struggled to make it through this, and it's not because I'm in a bad mood. I'm not. I'm not in a bad mood. My mood has nothing to do with my opinion of the film. If I was in a bad mood, I'd feel the exact same way about this movie. I'll try watching the other two originals. I'll see. Or the first two sequels. Not sure if I'm going to watch the remake and the sequel to the remake. But I guess we'll see. But the pace is my main issue with this film. It could be just like a generic like action cop movie, but it doesn't even do that. There's barely any action in the film. It feels like it's trying to do. Maybe Dirty Harry hadn't come out yet. I'll need to look that up. Nope, same year. Okay. It feels like it's trying to do the Dirty Harry thing without understanding that you need an interesting character. The most you get to John Shaft's character is he's a black guy. He likes to have sex with women. And he's an asshole. What do you get with Harry Callahan? He's strong. He's tough. He's resourceful. He's got a lot of charisma. No matter what you think about Clint Eastwood as an actor, he has a lot of charisma. His action scenes are a lot of fun, actually. Even if there's not a ton of action in Dirty Harry or any of the Dirty Harry films, the action is impactful. Here it feels kind of cheap and performative, and it just really doesn't land. Again, the most I can give this film is production design's not bad, the acting is okay, and some of the music's alright. It's really a tough movie to talk about, and this is really as far as I can go with talking about it before I fall the fuck asleep. But that was my review of Shaft. If you've seen the film, let me know what you thought in the comments. If you've got any requests, put them in the comments as well, and movie reviewer next door.